Okay. So thank you for attending the library's first Wednesday workshop of the semester. I'm Terra Gullings. I'm the Scholarly Communication Librarian here at UT Tyler. And today we are going to talk about affordable textbook options for your students. These can include course materials that are no cost to students, open educational resources, library provided textbooks, such as electronic books, journal articles, or other free resources you can find on the web that can help you teach your courses. So first, I want to jump into why do we care, right? Why use free materials? Affordability is a major concern for students, and the cost of textbooks plays a pretty big role in that. A survey was conducted by the U.S. Public Interest Research Group found that about 7 in 10 students didn't purchase a textbook because it was too expensive. Basically, the price is too high. Another study done by the same group in 2020 found similar results, with 66% of all surveyed skipping buying or renting course materials at some point during their college career because of the cost of the course materials. The 2020 survey also found that when asked if the students were concerned that their grades would be affected or it would negatively impact their learning, 90% said yes, not having the textbook would affect their grade or their ability to learn the content. And 25% of students reported that they worked extra hours to pay for books and other course materials, and 11% in that study said that they skipped meals in order to afford textbooks and course materials. Faculty agree in that same survey, with 82% saying textbooks are way too high and course materials cost their students too much money. The majority of these stats were compiled from educationdata.org, just so everyone knows. So using open educational resources, which I will call OER, the acronym, or materials that the library pays for and provide, can help remove that burden of additional costs for course materials from the students, enabling them to access the textbooks on day one without having to worry about whether or not they can afford it. So before I get too deep into the technical side of what we're going to talk about today and how to find resources, I always want to stress that if you have any questions at all about finding materials, we can help. So what I recommend is that if you're interested in adapting an OER or free course materials that the library can provide, but you don't know where to begin even after this workshop, please reach out to your liaison librarian. So we have a page on our library website that lists all of our liaison librarians and all of the disciplines that they're responsible for. So if you want to use OER or free materials and you just really don't know where to begin, you can send me and your liaison information about the course that you're thinking about transitioning. So you can send the course description, the syllabus, the textbook that you're currently using, kind of all the information that you would have for us to help you find the right material for you. So please take note of that. And if you don't know who your librarian is, or you just don't remember or have the energy, you can always just email, let me go back. You can always just email library@uttyler.edu, and whoever's monitoring that email will make sure that it goes to the correct person. And if you want to play a really active role in finding course materials on your own, you can always set up an appointment. We're here to help you find any kind of material you need. So please feel free to find us, email us, or set up an appointment. So I'm going to start by talking about open educational resources, because these are the best options for faculty and for students to adopt. Open educational resources are free for everyone all the time. So even when the students aren't enrolled in the course anymore, they're still going to be able to access this material. Open educational resources are freely available to use, reuse, adapt, and share, while also being able to redistribute that material to others. So you could take a bunch of different OER that work for your class and create a whole new OER just for your specific course. These materials traditionally include textbooks, but they also include handouts, streaming videos, software, entire curated courses, syllabi, lecture notes, online media, anything that someone licenses with a copyright license to be OER can be used and shared. So kind of getting into the definition a little bit more clearly about OER, in order for course material to be an open educational resource, it has to follow the 5 R's of OER. So these are, first, the other people who use the material must be able to retain the materials, including managing and storing them on their own sites, course management software like Canvas, their website, their blog. They should be able to have a copy forever and ever, not like when a student isn't a student anymore and they lose access to materials. Along with retaining materials, users must be able to reuse the content within the OER. So you can use it in a class or a study or your own research or anything like that. OER can be revised. So that's a big part of an open educational resource. You can change it as much as you want. If there's a chapter that you love, but there's one example that you thought of that they didn't think of, you can add that to the OER and reshare it however you'd like to reshare it. So that goes back to kind of what I said earlier. One of the 5 is remix, right? The original or revised content can be combined with other content to create something new. So you could take a bunch of different things and compile them into one resource that works for you. And most importantly, OER must be able to be redistributed, meaning whatever you create from a material that you use and change and adapt or add to, you have to also be able to license it with a redistribution license so that others can do the same thing and share it in the same way. So OER have a specific type of license that you have to follow, and I'll show you in a little bit. Oh, come on in. We're just going over some OER stuff. So now I'm going to show you the specific type of licensing, and when we search for OER, I can show you where to find those licenses to make sure that they'll work. So as I said, because OER have different licenses, the majority of them will have a Creative Commons license. So anything that you see of these 5 here that has this CC with this type of license, those are OER. That means they fall under the 5 different categories that are required for material to be OER. So just really quickly, let me go over these. The by is attribution. So every single Creative Commons license is going to require that you attribute whoever wrote it originally. Unless it's in the public domain, you don't have to actually put attribution, but it's probably a good idea to cite the source. SA is share alike, meaning if you take a material that's OER and you adapt it and remix it, and it has a CC attribution SA share alike license, you have to relicense your material using the same license that they used. Non-commercial is you can use the material however you'd like, you just can't use it for profit. So you can use it in your courses and things like that, but you can't publish the book and make a profit off of it. And the last one that's OER is the attribution non-commercial share alike. So this is kind of the most restrictive Creative Commons license for OER because it's requiring a non-commercial use and it's requiring that you share whatever you create with the same exact license that the creator made. These 2 down here are not OER, and it's a little confusing. You see a Creative Commons license and you figure it is free, I can use it however you want. But whenever you see an ND license, that means no derivatives, meaning you can use the material and you can share the material, but if you change it in any way, you are not allowed to then reshare the stuff that you've changed. So look out for the non-derivative if you want to use a traditional open educational resource. So now I'm going to spend a little bit of time searching for OER, and if anyone has any specific courses or disciplines that they're interested in finding OER materials for, please let me know, and we can try to search for that. These sites, OER Commons, Open Textbook Library, and Merlot, are kind of the 3 biggest ones that I know about that are available to search. These will have overlapping resources. So people who write open educational resources just share them as much as they can because they want them to get a lot of use. So you can go to UT Tyler's library's Open Educational Resources LibGuide, And there's a ton of information on here. Some of that is information that I've already covered, like the 5 R's, a definition of OER, but I want to show you under finding and evaluating, we have a long list of sort of the top 5 or 6 websites that you can actually search for OER. And then we also have a rubric available for people who want to use a rubric to kind of determine, say you find 5 or 6 textbooks that would work for you. If you need a specific rubric for OER, there's a couple of rubrics on this site too. So I'm going to pop into OER Commons because that's my favorite one to search. It has a lot of options for narrowing down resources. Does anybody have a specific discipline or class that they're thinking about that they may want to adopt an OER? Okay, if not yet, I'll just search. One of our criminal justice faculty is interested in adopting an OER, and earlier this week I tried to find materials for ethics for criminal justice. So I'm just going to type in criminal justice ethics and you can, on OER Commons, you can select college or upper division or graduate. That way you're kind of avoiding anything that would be like below the level that our students would need to learn. And you just search like you would search for library resources. This is going to come up with, well, there's only 6 results, which is good and bad, right? That tells us there's not a lot of OER about criminal justice. There's some stuff about social welfare. Let me go ahead and uncheck let's look for any education level and see if we come up with more. Okay, so 12 results if we don't narrow by college. So here's one, ethics and law enforcement. So what we would do, or what you can do, is look at this information. It has a Creative Commons attribution license, so we know it's OER. And then just dig into the material and see if you think it might work for your course. So this one has 1 review, so you can see what people think about it. And then this is one of the textbooks I sent to the professor. So here's a full textbook that's going to go into ethics, but only related to law enforcement, right? So this might not work specifically for the class he's teaching if it's overarching criminal justice ethics, but he could probably find some materials from this OER that he could use for his class. For example, I know he has a week where he teaches policing and ethics. There's also a section on law enforcement. So while it's not perfect for that material, it could still work, and we could still try to find other open educational resource materials that he could adapt into his course. So let me show one more site. Now, a couple of these, let's look at Merlot. Open Textbook Library and OER Commons are going to have probably similar materials. Merlot has all kinds of content. So it has syllabi, videos, traditional textbooks. It may link out to some universities that have like free journal articles or things like that. It's not gonna... Okay, well that's not going to load, so we'll skip that. Let's do Open Textbook Library. Let's see if that. This one is a little bit harder to search because you can't narrow as much as you'd like to, but if you just do a general keyword search for a topic, it will pull up any materials that have that in the title. And here's where you can filter. So you can filter by the license to make sure that you're using a Creative Commons license. You can filter by the format. So if you want it to be a PDF. This one you can't format by education level, which makes it a little bit harder to know that what you're looking at would be for college level students rather than elementary or junior high or high school. But let's just filter for online, see what we come up with. So we've got some stuff about psych. None of these really look like specifically chemistry. So this is a time when if you've done an initial search and you can't find anything, reach out to your librarian and we can see if we can find you more materials. Are there any questions about searching? Okay, I'm gonna move on then, and we can do some more searching later if there's time. The other option that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation is teaching a course using library provided materials. So of course the library has to pay for access to this content, but the students and faculty and staff don't have to pay anything. So this is still a great option if you want to take that burden of cost off of your students. Maybe you couldn't find the right OER, or maybe you found some OER or open access materials that work really great, but it's not enough, right? So you can always come and look at the resources that the library can provide. We have dozens and dozens or hundreds of databases. We have probably thousands and thousands of different journals that we subscribe to that students can get access to full text. We also have a number of publishers that provide electronic books with unlimited access, or maybe electronic books with limited access, but they're still free to the students. You can also just discover free materials online by searching in Google, which I'll do in a little bit. But let me show you how to search for zero cost materials through the library's website. So I first want to point out, if you know your specific discipline, you know the types of things that you want your students to be reading. If you have like 5 or 6 different journals in mind in your field, you can search journals by title. And if you have a specific nursing title or something like that in mind, you can get directly to that here, and it'll show you how many volumes we have, and then it will automatically link you out to the full text of that material. So this is an option, right? Build your course using journal articles only, or an OER chapter and journal articles only. So that's an option to search by journal title. You can also search databases by title. The majority of the electronic books that we have access to, you're going to be able to find in Swoop Search because they are cataloged in there. But if you know you want an ebook, right, you can just go to databases by title. There are a couple of places. The first is eBook Central, which has ebooks from all kinds of different disciplines. We also have access to Taylor and Francis ebooks, and then we have Wiley Online Library. Wiley Online Library is going to have journal articles and ebooks. So let's search in Taylor and Francis. And I'm just going to search for the same thing, criminal justice ethics, which is a pretty broad topic, but let's see what we can find. Okay, so here we go. There are some proprietary textbooks that will work. So we have a lot of books, right? Over 10,000 books. So we could narrow by recent releases, publication date. We could look at the author if that's our discipline and we know. We could look for specifically politics. Let's just go in and look at this top result here. So it says we have full access to this, meaning anybody can access this ebook at any time. The library has already purchased it. When you're searching in Swoop Search, that main search box, or Taylor and Francis or Wiley or eBook Central, those are going to be materials that the library already owns. So you don't have to worry about the access issue. So again, you can kind of scroll through the table of contents, see if you can get an idea of whether or not this would work for your course. If you have any access issues to this, please reach out to the library and we can make sure that it's working for you. So this is something that we did for this criminal justice faculty just on Monday. He wants to adopt either an OER or a library provided material. So we spent a couple of hours looking for OER and providing any information we could find about that, and then looking at library provided materials, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to prevent students from having to pay hundreds of dollars to get access to their course materials. So let me do a quick search just in Swoop Search. This is going to search the majority of materials that we have across the board. So this will search journal articles theses, dissertations, ebooks, chapters. This is kind of an overarching, like, what is everything the UT Tyler Library can find related to criminal justice ethics. And you may find some really good articles. Obviously, 18,000 results is too many results for anyone to have to look through. You could narrow by full text online, peer-reviewed, and get yourself down to about 14,000. If you know you want books, the easiest way to go, just find a traditional textbook. We can start to find some materials that we may have found through Wiley or Taylor and Francis, right? Ethics and criminal justice. And it's the same type of information. You can look at the table of contents. You can link out to the ebook. So this one's in ebook central. And you can look through the chapters and see what you want to use. I should say, if you find a textbook that the library provides access to that almost works, please feel free to supplement it with another electronic book or our journal articles, right? These are materials that everyone has access to. So if you find something that most of the way works, you can fill in with other materials that the library provides. These are things that we want people to use because we are paying for them. Okay, let's see. So let me go back here. Or actually, let me show you. I'm sure everyone here is an expert Google searcher. But on Google, under settings, if you go to advanced search, you can actually select the usage rights. So here's where you're going to see some of those words I was using before when I was describing the Creative Commons licensing. So free to use or share, right? Free to use or share even commercially. So if you want it to be fully OER, you can select free to use, share, or modify even commercially. And just do a search. Of course, this is going to pull up like probably a billion results. But this is an option too, right? So here's Milne Publishing, Why Ethics. And I think if we click on this, we'll find that it's an open educational resource. So that's another option that we can search. That's definitely something that I search when trying to help faculty find materials that will work for their course. So generally just keep Google in mind too as an option. Okay, any questions about searching in there? I know I'm rushing, but I want to get to the most important part. Okay, so as some of you may know, the library has its first ever affordable textbook adoption grant. So this is for course materials that you would teach in spring of 2024. So right now we have an application open for anyone, any instructor who wants to either find OER that will work for their course or find library provided materials that will work for their course. So let me link out to it. So all the information can be found on our Scholarly Communication Guide under Affordable Textbook Adoption Grant. And this just details eligibility requirements and funding. So if you teach a course and you want the library to help you find materials that could work to get from a traditional textbook that would cost students money to a free, affordable material, we will award you basically a stipend for the time that you spent changing your course, right? Because we know it takes some significant work to adapt a course where you've been using a textbook for a long time into something different. These are for spring 2024 courses only. So if you have something in mind, if you have a particular course you're thinking of, and you want to do a little bit of initial searching, or you just want someone in the library to help you, please reach out. We are very excited about this grant and that we're able to offer this opportunity. We hope that we can save students more money. And we're excited that we finally have some funds to make it happen. So I know I went really fast and I apologize, but that's pretty much all I have. Does anyone have questions?
I think my only question is, I have a couple books I'm using in my graduate course that require IDs in order to do like a strengths assessment or emotional intelligence assessment. We're doing a writing module through Hacker. is there anything with OER where the university might have those sign-ons so that the student doesn't have to buy the book? Because I know you have the books. I looked for them and they're actually in the ebooks.
Right, it's the additional. So I would say send me an email and I can look around. I'm pretty sure that we don't have any sort of subscription to like the Strengths Quest thing. But if you want to send me the email with the specific information, I can look around. But in order to be awarded for this grant, it would have to be completely no cost to students. So if we're
Right.
not able to do that, you would not be eligible, because we don't want people to use OER materials, but then also require something that costs money, because that kind of defeats the purpose. So
that was the biggest reason I came. I'm like, that's my only holdup, is that little piece.
yeah, feel free to send me an email and I can look into it. I mean,
Okay.
there is a small chance we could contact them and see if we can get some free license or whatever, you know, a trial or something like that.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
definitely something we can look into. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Oh, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that LibGuide. Okay, well, I know I ran through it pretty fast. Honestly, the most important thing is that you're here and that you want to save your students some money, and to know that the librarians are here to help. So very last thing I'm gonna do is pull up this page, so everyone can look at the name of their liaison, or you can just email me and I can work with your liaison to find materials. And this doesn't have to be just for the courses that you teach for the spring. If you want to adopt for the spring, this can be for any class. We're happy to help across the board. The grant is for spring 24, but if you have courses that you've taught in the past that you want to transition, please reach out to us, because we're happy to help. All right, thank you guys. Bye.